Well, good morning. Good morning. Well, here we are in the second week in February. And February is the month of love. Valentine's Day is coming up, right? Next Friday. You got your Valentine all picked out? Yourself? Right? If you don't love yourself, you have nothing to give away. So this month's theme is all the colors of love. And this week's title is The Body is Not an Apology. Next week is on sexual energy, so I'm sure that it will be a full house for that one. I have no idea how that's going to go. I've never attempted to talk on that one, so it will be something you want to stick around for. Stay tuned. So, God knows no skin color, for God is all the colors of love. God has no gender, no sexual orientation, no political party, for God is all colors, genderless, has no sexual orientation, and has no political party, for God is all things. Giving love, receiving love, and making love are spiritual acts that can be gateways to the experience of God, for God is love. God is love. You know, sometimes we love to hate things, don't we? Think about it. Think about what you love to hate. At least there's some love in it, right? We have to learn to love what we hate, though, and turn it around. So a fat body, a thin body, an old body. Do you see the theme for today? Everything's been about your body. You know, love the way you are. Love the one you're with, yourself. Fat body, a thin body, an old body, a young body is a beautiful body, for God loves everyone alike. All bodies are beautiful, for God is present in all bodies. Why? Because there's not a spot where God is not. And where you are sitting, God is. Sitting in your seat, breathing your body. What do you think is beating your heart? It's just a muscle that knows how to do that, like for, 150 years without stopping. There's something going on there. I mean, what makes that tick or tick? It's love. So, do you love your body?
Yes.
Come on, people now.
I do.
Shine on me, brother. Do you love your body? Okay, there's time. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
And I'm going to give you some reasons why, no matter what you think of it. Or are you just tolerating yourself? I tolerated myself for many years, longer than my parents did. Well, it's time to learn how to love yourself just the way you are. Modern media presents the body, as it presents many aspects of life, as something flawed and in need of fixing. There's these commercials that come on that I have to change it every time. It's the stuff you put under your eyes, and I'm like, I just leave it alone. We're playing some silly little game with ourselves, trying to extend some experience we're having, to tone, gravity's going to do what it does, and just be okay with it. It's beautiful. In Science of Mind, we believe that each of us is perfect, whole, and complete exactly as we are. And we have to learn to love that exactly as it is. Because if something comes up and we fight it, and we get angry at it, we just created ourselves as part of the problem. When we match anger and hate with more anger and hate, what is there more of in the world? Anger and hate. We must, when we see something we don't like, say, this too is good. This too is God. And I demand to see the blessing in this right here and right now. Stomp your foot at God. Now be careful when you do that, because when the infinite stomps back, it may change your life. I know that when I was first into this teaching and I stomped my foot a couple times and it stomped back, things changed in my life dramatically. So be aware of that. In Science of Mind, believing that everything is perfect, whole, and complete, the body is not something that we need to apologize for or excuse, but rather something that we need to celebrate for its beauty, its power, and the ability to house the infinite in this plane of existence so that we may experience it, for our body is a temple. That's what it means. Your body is a temple. It is housing your ability to move about this plane of existence, hopefully wirelessly, like your cell phone does, right? Your cell phone is hooked up to a source. If you don't have a good provider, well, we have a good provider too. If you believe in that sort of thing, think about it. So without our bodies, we would not be here in this plane of existence. Through gently supporting and listening to the body, it can be a vehicle not only for our souls to navigate the world, but also for our continued spiritual evolution. If your spirituality does not move you, move your spirituality. Find a place like this that you can think freely. Open at the top. I want to speak to you advanced students today. You know who you are. You're sitting in the blue chairs. You are God in form. How powerful is it to say, I am God? It's one thing to say, I am God and no one else is. That makes, that's blasphemy. Who are you to say that you are not part of God? We are each a cell in the body of God. And we need to keep it healthy, wealthy, and wise. We need to exercise our cell. We need to, I'm an event planner by trade. How's the catering at your event going? How's the entertainment at your event going? Do you have a first aid station at your event? Some basic things you need to have. When was the last time you brought yourself flowers? Or bought yourself a sugarless candy bar? Go ahead and buy a little bit of sugar. If that you can tolerate it, So the body is not something to apologize for. It is our temple because the infinite lives within you. How can you tell? Are you breathing? Do you have lungs? Okay. And is your heart still beating? If you're in this room, I hope it is. Because that means God lives there. The infinite, whatever you want to call it. Christ consciousness, Jesus the Christ, Great Spirit, source energy. That's your business. You get to call it whatever you want. That's what I love about this teaching. We don't tell you what to call it, but we can agree there is something animating us. Without our bodies, we would not be here in this plane of existence. Though gently supporting and listening to the body, through gently supporting and listening to the body, it can be a vehicle not only for our souls to navigate, but for our continued spiritual evolution. We are evolving, believe it or not. Turn off the news. We are evolving. We are getting better. My dad used to say, your body is a place where your soul parks itself for an instant in eternity. An instant. Your life is an instant in eternity. Sure feels longer, doesn't it, sometimes? especially when you're waiting for something to happen, right? So let's unpack the word apology a little bit, because I know that when I read this, I was like, how am I going to do this talk, right? Your body is not an apology. An apology is more than saying, I'm sorry. An apologetic way of life includes behaviors or belief that is not entitled to their own joy and power, and that they must take steps to atone somehow for existing the way that they do. In Science of Mind, we do not believe in this. You have already paid the spiritual coin to get here, to be here, to force your souls into this plane of existence was one of the hardest things to do. But we all figured it out. We all figured out how to be born. And we will all figure out how to make our transition when that time has come. I hear billions of people have done it before us, so it's something that is part of the life experience. It's not to be feared. It's part of life. But why we're here to get something. You made a contract with yourself that you would come into this plane of existence for something. You chose this vehicle, believe it or not, to be the method through which those ideas would be relayed to you. So that later you can go back, and when you do a little instantaneous life review, that you can go, hey, how did I do? You know, I used to think they were going to sit me down at a table and go, okay, this is what you did here, and you were wrong there, and you really messed this up. And I was talking to my dad about it, and he says, what if they sit you down and just go, how'd you do? How'd you do? Did you fulfill your purpose that you came there for? Okay, there's a couple things you missed, but how'd you do? That's a whole different way of reviewing your life, right? So what the body does and is, the body, as all physical reality, is the manifestation of the divine in a form with which we can interact. You are a spiritual being having a human experience, having a spiritual experience. Having a human experience, okay, you see the ball rolling here. You are both at the same time. It can be no other way. No, that's for everybody else is spiritual, but I'm not. Well, if you found yourself here today, you're a spiritual being knowing it. Your body is the vehicle that God is driving around, housing your soul so it may engage and interact with everything around you. The body then should be respected and celebrated for the perfect way it houses you, and that you house it. It's perfect. You know, I used to really berate myself before I came into this teaching on how stupid I was, or how ugly I was, or how fat, or how, this and that. And then when I realized that everything was God, and I kept doing that, those two don't go together, because I don't like calling God those things. How could I call God those things? And since we are those things, it doesn't make sense to call the infinite stupid. Do you think God is stupid? I think not. I think that we can play that part when we're here by dismissing information or not wanting to be part of the experience. You can separate yourself and not have any interaction. But what happens when we do that? Like a muscle that doesn't get exercised, we atrophy. And we will soon perish if we don't have interaction. We must interact. So love the body. Our culture encourages a constant battle against our bodies. Diet culture, working ourselves to the point of exhaustion, missing sleep, more and more commitments. Is that what the body wants? I think not. We need to know when to say no. We need, a no to something external that you really don't want to do is a yes to everything that is a vacation for your soul. What if you were to live your life like you were on vacation? That's my goal. This is my entertainment for my vacation right here. Thank you all for showing up so I can have a little experience here, yeah? Yeah? And I get paid vacations, so you should try it. It's a good gig. The body is intelligent and created of the divine. Listen to it and love it just as you love your mind, your heart, and your soul. You are a powerful being. There are things going on that we may never understand. And you know what? We are only seeing a sliver of what the infinite can do. A lot of things that knowledge is being kept from us because it would melt our face if we knew it. You know what I mean? If we knew the grandeur of what we are, we would cease to be because it would freak our minds, right? The colors that we could see, the experiences we could have if we were open to using maybe 2% more of our ability. So that's where my treatment is. I treat that I will use more of the God-given brain that is right here, right? So I've got a couple supporting quotes. This is from the Science of Mind textbook, page 99. Body expresses intelligence. Its apparent intelligence is being lent by the consciousness which permeates it. The physical body is evolved for the purpose of allowing consciousness to function on this plane. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Holmes. We get to play in this universe. And if it's work for you, you're not doing it right. You've got to find a way to play in life. And play big. Play big. Don't just ride the merry-go-round. Ride the roller coaster, man. Come on. It's been said that in this life, if we were to go into Disneyland with just a flashlight and look around, that's kind of what the consciousness is like here. Is we can only have so much knowledge with a little flashlight in Disneyland. Turn up the lights and you see all the rides. You see all the recreation available to you. It's a whole different way of viewing life. And this is from Sonia Renee Taylor in The Body is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love. Concepts like self-acceptance and body neutrality are not without value. When you have spent your entire life at war with your body, these models offer a truce. But you can have more than a ceasefire. You can have radical self-love because you are already radically self-loved. Do you know how much the infinite loves you? It gave the biggest gift. It gave the very life that you are. And then we poo-poo our body. Come on, that's not a way to, I like that bike, but, it could have bigger tires or smaller tires or whatever. Just ride that bike for all it's worth, baby. It gets you around. So this is a poem by Nayara Wahid. It's So just think about this, I want to talk to your body, your beautiful body right now, okay? So just listen from a body perspective. No might make them angry, but it will make you free. If no one has ever told you, your freedom is more important than their anger. And I said to my body softly, I want to be your friend. And it took a breath and replied, I have been waiting my whole life for this. If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air. So in conclusion, we need to practice listening to our bodies and loving it, no matter what it says. Be in contact with all that is through your body. This is your communicating station. This is your receiving and delivery system. Allow it to have a say in the choices and activities of your life. Rather than living a life of hoping you're okay and making up for yourself, own what you do. Respect and love it as the way that you show up, as only you can. If you make a mess, own it. Love it. Take a picture and get it on Facebook. Look at the mess I made. That's mine. That's my mess. Before each decision this week, and any time that you're stuck in a feeling, close your eyes and ask your body what it wants to tell you. Give it the opportunity to be heard and loved. Listen to your body and listen for that still, small voice of God that says, I have been waiting my whole life for this. And so it is. Okay, it's time to follow our teaching and go within. So I invite you to just close your eyes or take a soft focus on the candles or the flowers, or just sit in a meditative state. And I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness what you have decided to call the power of creation in your life. Be it God or Source or Christ, Jesus or Muhammad or whatever. I think we can agree that there is something happening. And that our bodies are divine instruments through which that divine evolving happens. I know that each one of us is a divine demonstration of the awesome power of the wisdom of the universe and its ability to manifest in this world. And it has chosen you to do this. Each one of us, a cell in the body of the unlimited power. And as such, each one of us contains the ability to tap into that unlimited power. For something is healing your body all the time. Something is healing your life all the time. Something is bringing the truckloads of good fortune constantly into your life on a continuous basis. And when you know and you attract that love, the shipments get closer together and larger not only in the world of form, but in the form of consciousness, of knowing, of believing that there is something happening, that all the right cells are going to all the right places within your body that heal you, that all the right connections are being made in your life for the perfect healing for your situation. I may not know what your situation is, but I know that the creative energy of all it is knows you. So as we look upon the challenges in our life and see them in a different light of being healed, how does it look that it is solved? Whatever it is, how does it look that it has been resolved by the infinite? And can we now move through our life in the energy of healing? We don't have to know how it does it. That's its business. But we have to know that healing is possible. That's all we have to do. So when we believe healing is possible, and I do, and if you don't, you can borrow my belief, I know something awesomely powerful is happening by each one of us in a way that is identifiable, makes sense, and moves us to the greatest yet to be in our life. So we give great thanks. We give thanks right now for the healing that are happening possibly in the future, but are happening now in our mind, because the infinite knows no time or space. It just knows now. So as we invite that healing, revealing nature of the infinite into all our situations as already done, the universe says yes. Absolutely yes. Let me show you the way. So we give great thanks for our body, knowing that something wonderful is happening by means of each one of us as we release these words directly into that living, loving law of mind, where they are returned to us, filled to overflowing in a way that makes sense and is beautiful. As we release this treatment, we affirm it together by saying, so it is. Amen. Okay.